Well, hey friends, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us once again as we're walking through God's Word. We're looking through the book of John. If you're joining us, we've only a couple of episodes in, so feel free to go back and take a look at some other videos. But today we're in John chapter 1, verse 14 through 18. Have you ever looked and read parts of the Old Testament and bogged down and confused? Like they just didn't make sense when you read them? Or you try to read through some of the harder books, Numbers, Leviticus. You're like, man, this is just taking forever to get through. And you wonder, how are they so vastly different? And it seems like most of us spend a lot of the time in the New Testament. It just seems easier to understand, easier to read. Well, God intended for both of these books to serve a purpose. That there is a woven thread line through both of them, and this is the proclamation of who Jesus is and God's restoration plan. Mark Dever explained it very well. He said that you can look at the Old Testament and the New Testament like this, that the Old Testament is promises made by God, that things that God said would take place. And we see in the New Testament that these are the promises kept by God. Things that were promised have been revealed or have happened. We see all the Old Testament pointing to a Messiah who would be Jesus that we see in the New Testament. And that's exactly what the writer of John is doing here. He is pointing people back and saying that the plan that God had all along, it starts with Jesus. And he writes, again, like we've said the past couple episodes, he's writing this book so that we may believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And so today we're looking at verses 14 through 18. And verse 14 is really where we're going to hang the most on, but we'll read the whole portion. And I'll come back and I got a few comments about 14. Here we go, verse 14. It says, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and he saw his glory. Glory as of the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and truth. John," talking about John the Baptist here, "testified about him, crying out, saying, 'This was he of whom I said, he who comes after me has a higher rank than I, for he existed before me.'" Verse 16, "For of his fullness we have all received, and grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth were realized through Jesus Christ. And no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten God who is in the bosom of the Father, and he has explained him." So we just kind of concluded off of a large portion of chapter 1 that here it is that John is saying the Word, and what he means by the Word is Jesus Christ. The Word became flesh. That God sent his Son Jesus in human form, in flesh, to dwell what? Among us. We celebrate that at Christmas, right? That Jesus, born of a Virgin Mary, comes to be on earth with us. And there's a couple important things about that. That one, I guess, if you deny that the Word is Jesus, that the Word is flesh, that God took on human form, if you deny that, you've got to deny a whole lot of things, I would say. But here we claim that Jesus took on flesh, and this is why this is important. I'm going to use my book for a second because it says, why would the eternal, pre-existent God become this baby cradled in the arms of a peasant woman? Why would God send Jesus to dwell with us? The one who is created from before all things, the one who existed before anything else. Why would he have to put on human flesh to be with us? And here are three things I want to hit, and then we'll be finished. It says, if Jesus did not become man, put on flesh, he could not be tempted. Have you ever been somewhere and you're like, man, I don't know what to do, or you feel like temptation's coming from every way, or you have decisions to make? We have the blessing, the privilege to understand that Jesus had to deal with some of the same things we have to deal with. Now, maybe not in the exact same setting, but temptation came to Jesus as well, and Jesus sets the example out of how we can combat temptation, how we can stand firm even when being tempted. Second, if Jesus did not become a man, he could not be the example. I remember in youth group there used to be a thing, and they were real popular, called WWJD, the bracelets that everybody seemed to wear. It seems like they're making a comeback. What would Jesus do? And it was a reminder to remember, what would Jesus do in this particular situation? How are we to live and honor him? And we see that Jesus becoming a man gives us the example, the guidelines of somebody we can live by, somebody we can mark our life for as well. So if he wasn't a man, we wouldn't have that. And then lastly, I think it's the most important. It says, if Jesus did not become a man, he could not die. This is huge, right? That God would put on human flesh, dwell among us, and willingly lay down his life for us. That he would give his life so that we can know him. And if Jesus would not have done that, he wouldn't have had to have died. And then we celebrate his resurrection later in John. So three important things of why Jesus even came, so we can experience a relationship with Jesus. And I love what it says here, and I'll finish. It says, for the fullness we have all received grace upon grace. That we've received even things we don't deserve. Good things that come from God has been given because he loves us. Hey, I hope you have a wonderful day. I can't wait to see you next time. Don't forget, subscribe to get the notifications when we're doing another video. We're trying to shoot for 3 o'clock every weekday. Hey, if you haven't voted, you can. Go vote. It's a privilege to do that. Love you guys. Peace out.